Nerdentials podcast, starring your hosts, Joe Tweedy, Matthew Johnson, Nick Thomas, and Lynn Dutton. Welcome to Nerdentials, your weekly dose of the nerdy essentials covering film, TV, video games, and comic books. I'm your host, Joe Tweeton, and joining me today is the Nick Thomas. Now, we cut this separated from a previous recording because it went so long with our news coverage of the Bungie Activision split that we decided to place a focus on the most anticipated games of 2019. So, guys, I'm going to cut to that recording now. Sit back and enjoy the conversation. Guys, it's time to jump into our top picks, anticipated games for 2019. Welcome to the most anticipated games of 2019. 19. Now, me and Nick have... Yeah, that's right. We have a few shared titles that we're looking forward to. And we're aware there's many this year. So if it doesn't get mentioned in this episode, guys, we apologize. But as the months move forward, we will talk about a lot of them throughout the Nerdentials podcast. So
yeah, there's definitely a lot more that I could have went in depth on. But
oh, yeah. So what I'm telling our listeners and viewers is to just check back every week, look for that Gaming Bits episode that we post, and when it lands, we will probably cover the games as they land, because that's our one New Year's resolution, guys, for Nerdentials.
More up-to-date coverage.
We're gonna cover more current games. We're good with movies and TV. We're gonna improve on our gaming coverage,
and it won't just be one game all year.
Yeah. We had fun at the time, but we realized there's a lot of great stuff out there. So, real quick. Guys, I'm going to give you my quick picks because I really do have, some deep vested interest in them, but there's so much out there about them right now and they're right around the corner. So I'll list mine off real quick, and then we'll dive in a little bit into some of Nick's more eclectic choices. Not all of them are eclectic, though. There's some mainstream picks in there. So, guys, my first one at the top of my list right now, most anticipated, and not because it's close, but it's also for one of my favorite companies on this planet. The video game Anthem, coming out, being produced by BioWare, and it's... I believe it's the Montreal group. It's their head group, the head group that developed Mass Effect 1 and 2. And don't get me wrong, Andromeda, I still enjoyed that game. It is a good game, but it did not critically come even close to the first trilogy of games. So that wasn't the original developer group, because BioWare is a pretty large group. They have multiple divisions that work on a lot of different things at the same time. So, sorry to the guys that worked on Andromeda. They, as you guys remember from last year, they got dissolved into the other teams. So, BioWare as a company was kind of like, sorry about Andromeda, guys. We're going to move on to bigger, brighter things. And the people responsible for the success of the first two Mass Effect games are the heads behind Anthem. Now, I know it's been thrown up and down about, is this going to be the Destiny 2 killer, or is this going to be the next looter shooter? I think a little bit of that. I think there's a little bit of truth behind some of those things. A killer, no, it's not going to kill off Destiny at all. It's not even going to. It'll definitely be one of those competitive fields of how many people are playing Destiny during its content drop versus how many people are going to keep up with Anthem. It's going to be back and forth. In my books, though, guys, I'm mainly interested in it because it's from BioWare. It's got a unique, interesting story, and BioWare is really good at storytelling. And secondly, I've been watching some, shout out to IGN and those guys and their lucky ass selves of getting this early coverage. They once a month they do an IGN first, so they get some early access to certain footage, certain aspects of the game, not the whole game. They've been releasing some character class playthroughs, like 15-minute videos about each of the classes, showcasing all their abilities and their ability to customize. I'm really excited at what this is going to offer. It's a third-person shooter, but and it's going to have looter shooter elements. The most excited I am about it, though, like the one little particular thing that I've heard from the people that have gotten to actually play it is they said BioWare has nailed the concept of making the mechanic of flying in a game fun. Like, joyously, seamlessly. If you were dying to know what it feels like to jettison through the sky effortlessly like Iron Man, BioWare has completely nailed it, according to a bunch of industry professionals that are covering this game right now in its early stages. And this is alpha shit, guys. This isn't the final product. These are still alpha builds that BioWare is giving out to different publication companies like IGN, and they're still saying it's already buttery smooth and makes you feel like you're flying like freaking Iron Man. So you take the ability to fly like Iron Man and you layer in all this RPG elements and the storytelling of BioWare. I'm really sold right now. Matthew and Lynn are currently on the wait and see Banfield because they're very steeped in Destiny.
Well, BioWare has.
So am I. I mean, I love Destiny too. It's not going to replace Destiny. But Nick, did you have any thoughts? Is this anywhere on your longer list? Is this an honorable mention of interest at all?
This has been an anticipated game for a while because just out of curiosity, because the flight, they're actually trying to swoop in there almost as a competitor for Destiny because how big Destiny was. Mm-hmm. No matter how much people say Destiny's dead, they're
and it's
not.
We know it's not going to be.
But Anthem will have its own place because of the flight aspect.
Oh yeah, it's going to have its own flavor completely, for sure.
I hope they gear more towards the RPG aspect of it over the shooter style of it, because you want that feel of adventure and that exploration.
I know they're diving into games of service, and I know they're shooting for heavy multiplayer, but they have said there's going to be enough story elements into it that you can still go in solo and have fun with the game. You might not get the whole experience of what the game offers, but they're saying there's going to be enough in there you're not going to be bored going in solo.
Good.
So because these guys come from a heavy pedigree of solo RPGs.
Yeah. Jade Empires.
Knights of the Old Republic.
Hells yeah.
Hold on. We're drawing so many blanks. It's a little late at night, guys.
Well, you said
no.
The
one of the biggest ones out there that they're still making. It's medieval setting. Why am I drawing a blank? They've made 3 of them.
They didn't do Dragon Age, did they? No.
Oh, Dragon Age is 100% BioWare, bro. Oh. No, that's BioWare, dude.
Oh.
They're the Baldur's Gate origin people, the D&D medieval Baldur's Gate guys. And yes, they are they're responsible for Dragon Age, and recently they teased Dragon Age 4, which is really far out from development right now. But that's what I mean, like, they were involved.
Oh, I thought it was EA, but they're just the producers for BioWare. Okay.
Publishers,
yeah.
Just the publisher, yeah. So Mass Effect,
mm-hmm.
Dragon Age.
Yeah.
Holy crap, these guys know how to tell stories as a company.
Just not Andromeda.
There was story in there too. It was not. Anyway, so there's a lot of hope behind like the single person experience. It is meant to be a multiplayer game, but they said there's going to be a lot of stuff in there for everyone. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna quickly drop down to my second quick pick on anticipated games. Now, solely for the curiosity element. Like Nick had a curiosity with Anthem. Mine is just the curiosity of how can a game 4 years down the road and nonstop delays still come out on top and be a spectacle. I think it's going to be a spectacle purely
because of Terry Crews.
Okay, purely on the Terry Crews element, and just to see what kind of game we end up with. Yes, I'll bleep that out.
That's right.
Here's the thing, guys. I got the pre-order download available, and it was only 100 megabits. It made me squint and raise an eyebrow, needless to say. Now, my only thought is, does this just what are we getting? Okay, those not in the know. When you pre-order a game, you get a good chunk of that game that you can't play. It's locked behind a final update before release. But like when you, like I'm going to be honest, Resident Evil 2, the remake, Matt went ahead and nabbed a pre-order, so of course I got the game on my Xbox through sharing. That's many gigs. That's a large file game, and I already have most of the game essentially behind the one like release day patch unlock wall that happens when the game launches. Now it's the era we live in with the digital age. You preload a good chunk of a game, and it's like, the game is sitting on my console, but I can't play it. And that's true and not true. Yeah, like 90% of the game is on your console. There's still some finishing polish patches and the whole release date thing. But because we live in a digital age, they're helping us out by not forcing us to sit there for 6 hours and install a disc on launch day. You know? I mean, they're letting us pre-download a good chunk of game, and granted it seems like, it's just sitting there, why can't I play it? But at the same time, that's just the era we live in. And so think about it, on launch day, game is seconds away from being ready because all you got to do is download the release patch. Boom, game's available.
I hope it's bigger than 100 megabytes.
But back to my questioning concern with the raised eyebrow. 100 megabits for Crackdown, huh? Okay. And we get it because it comes through Game Pass. I have Game Pass. Matt has Game Pass. So,
well, if you remember correctly, a lot of this is on their servers. This is what I'm
leading to, Nick. This is what I'm leading to.
Oh.
They didn't show... Here's the thing. A lot of people were concerned because when they showed it one more time at this E3, they didn't show any of the destructibility. They didn't show anything they originally talked about with the cloud. So this made a lot of people go, is that still coming? Like with all these delays and all these, we got to fix this, fix that. Is that still coming? So I'm in the belief that this pre-order 100 megabit download maybe implies that a good chunk of this game, the whole cloud feature destruction they promoted so heavily 4 years ago, might actually, like, this might be the little Easter egg that Microsoft is hoping that they're able to push out. Like, you know what I mean? Like they've been silent about the cloud destruction for a year. Last E3, they're like, yeah, you can do all this. This will be cool. And then a delay happened, more issues, more development, pushback happened. Recent E3, they showcased the multiplayer. They showcased a little bit of the campaign. None of the destructibility. And that made everyone go, man, is anyone even going to play this? And now we've got this 100 megabit pre-order. Man, it's free for us to play, those that have Game Pass. So me and Matt will definitely check it out and let you guys know. The whole world that it has Game Pass is going to let you know, did they pull through? And so that's why it's my most on the list of anticipated. I want to see how much of an F-up this is, or how much of a surprise this is. That's kind of where I'm sitting at it right now. I didn't mean to cut you off, Nick, but like I was going exactly where you were where you were estimating. You're like, yeah, it's probably going to go there.
Well, and
Or yeah.
what I think the pre-order is a lot of times when it's an Xbox related game that has a pre-order, when it's specifically from them, a lot of times what you download is actually like a demo. And they don't actually give you the pre-order ahead of time because they don't want people hacking in the back end of it and try to get into stuff they're not supposed to. Like, remember Destiny, people were getting into stuff they weren't supposed to because everything wasn't well developed. They're trying to keep this on the down low because it's been so long in waiting.
Well, I'm going to lean on the whole cloud thing, and that's why the majority of the game will not be actually on the console. I don't know.
I can actually tell you honestly, I've only played probably 30 minutes of any Crackdown game ever, and it has a certain appeal of just destructing everything.
It's how I treat my Grand Theft Auto games. I use cheat codes and I blow crap up.
Yeah.
And I've played a few hours of a couple of the previous 2 Crackdown games, and when you start leveling up in your skill, you do become a superhero style soldier. Like you jump twice as high, pick up cars and throw them. It becomes a lot of chaotic fun. And so, I mean, here's to hoping that the destructibility thing, because that was the kind of the big selling point of what's going to make this one so much more fun than the previous 2. And granted, Rockstar doesn't have any games that do this specific thing, like the superhero style cop, but they do have an expansive open world that you can do a lot of things in. So to see Crackdown kind of pull off the destructibility thing is definitely is a hope for a lot of us. So we're just going to have to... This is a wait and see, and thankfully I don't have to pay for this, so I don't have to wait and see for very long. Because this...
February 16th, isn't it?
You got the date on this one? So I missed the Anthem date. Sorry, guys. Anthem, quick side note, now I'm about to pass it off to Nick. So Anthem comes out the 22nd, but if you have EA Access, which is a $5 a month subscription exclusive to Microsoft, or $30 a year, you get access to the EA Vault, and you get early access to their new releases. So it's kind of like a Game Pass, but it's EA specific.
Crackdown 3 releases February 15th.
15th. And if you're an EA Access player, Anthem also drops on the 15th. A mere few days earlier than everyone else. So, but again, Game Pass owners are going to get that. EA players are going to get Anthem early. Those are my top 2 picks. Now, a quick honorable mention. I have no details on this, so I'm going to quickly throw it out there.
I don't think anyone does.
No, it's not. Epic hasn't released anything about it up to this point. Or did I get that wrong? Is it now by a third person developer, or is it Epic still?
Which one are we talking
about? Gears 5 up to this point. I know Cliff Bleszinski left the project after 3, and I just didn't know if the company switched heads or switched names, or if it's still under Epic's banner. I think it's still under Epic.
Microsoft Studios and Coalition.
Oh, the Coalition. So, yeah, Epic does Fortnite now and other stuff. That, like Bungie, Epic kind of separated from Microsoft, and Microsoft went ahead and I think it
was created by Epic and managed by Coalition and owned by Microsoft Studios.
Okay, so that makes Gears a first-party game, a first-party property now, which means Game Pass, guys. We don't know this. They haven't announced a date, but my honorable mention for anticipated games is to see Gears 5 coming. They've now taken off the title Gears of War, and all future titles will now just be called Gears something. Because the original team with Phoenix is kind of segueing through halfway through Gears 4. Now we've got a new younger team, and they're coming back for Gears 5. We don't know much more than that. We don't know anything about the plot or the release date. We do know, I think through their callings or their pre-planning, they've mentioned it will be a 2019 fall release. So don't know a date yet, guys, but this coming holiday in 2019, Gears 5 will be arriving. That's my honorable mention.
I'm on the
Now,
Gears 5 the gearsofwar.com website for you. I got the tag here for you if you want me to read it.
yeah, go for it.
Gears 5. The world is crumbling. Humanity's reliance on technology has become their downfall, and enemies are uniting to wipe out all of the survivors. As Kate,
Whoa.
you must journey across the biggest, most beautiful Gears world to uncover the origins of the Locust and fight with your squad to protect what's left. They have some other stuff here. Never fight alone. Play solo or with a friend in local split screen co-op. Local, yeah. Or online co-op. Battle
Oh,
alongside
dude.
your friends anywhere with cross-play between Xbox and PC. Explore Sarah, scrim across glaciers, sail across deserts, and descend into sunken ruins to discover the largest and most diverse Gears world ever created. Visual showcase. Play every mode in 4K Ultra HD resolution with stunning HDR at a smooth 60 frames per second. Additional features, co-op and competitive modes still to be announced.
Well, damn, dude. In that moment, you delivered more information than I was ready for, and I will just say that bumps it up to my third action choice. Not just an honorable mention. Now we still don't have a date, but we can assume 2019 still, and that just makes me excited to see what is going to be in it. Um, so Gears of War. Okay, man. Yeah, that. Whew.
You're welcome for that.
And on a side note, I gotta mention this because it falls into the same category of like game types, and we can save it for another podcast episode. It's not 2019, but the lineup for upcoming games and it being on the horizon. You mentioned Gears being local co-op.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I'm excited about that for two reasons. One, local couch co-op has been missing, and there's such a large fan base of players out there that love local couch co-op. Not the least of which we can forget are Halo fans, and the biggest gripe on Halo 5 was 343 Industries, the development company continuing the Halo legacy, cut it out of Halo 5. They made it a flipping Call of Duty game, one person per console per TV.
That's why I haven't played it.
Right. But here's the thing. To be fair though, Nick, just to point out, fans and critics and my own personal experience can tell you Halo 5 has had the best, most of has had the widest variety, the widest customization, and the best multiplayer in the existence of Halo, period.
What about the storyline?
Include I'm not talking about, dude, this is not a Halo episode. Fans were divisive, and more than divisive, most of them hated the campaign. We're not talking about, don't just scratch the campaign for a second.
The only reason why I
please.
say that is that's the reason why I play Halo is the campaign.
I don't want to drag this out, dude.
That's fine,
like
that's fine.
I respect your why you go for Halo and why you don't go for Halo. I just meant to the listeners and just to inform you, even though you heard how much hate happened to the campaign, you can't play the multiplayer unless you own the game. And now it's on Game Pass, so $10 a month. If you're a Game Pass owner, you have next to no excuse. And Gears of War being a first-party thing, Halo being a first-party thing, so all of those are available on Game Pass. So it's even if you don't have Game Pass, that's an even bigger reason to get Game Pass, because then you can interchangeably download, delete, and play any of those first-party games at will as often as you want. So, going back to my point before we tangented for a minute, I'm going back to agreeing with you. Yes, the campaign was egregious by most fan standards, and respectfully, I understand that that's your primary reason for getting Halo is the campaign. I won't dismiss that in any way, shape, or form. But as far as the multiplayer goes, the one thing that Halo 5 was praised for across all gamuts, fans and critics, this is the best multiplayer since Halo 2 to ever exist in Halo.
Okay.
And I can confidently back that up because I became obsessed with Halo during the Halo 2 multiplayer explosion when people realized how incredible couch co-op and matchmaking could be with a shooter.
Yeah.
Like Bungie redefined what could be amazing with a shooter and multiplayer. And so anyway, separate episode now.
Gears of 5 is such a big game. We're probably going to do a full episode on just this.
When it comes out, we'll definitely talk about couch co-op coming back as an industry. The reason I say that is back to the point of talking about Halo. Halo Infinite, the unknown loose details on what 343 is putting out for the official 6th chapter of Halo, and I'm calling it my honorable mention. I know this breaks the rules. It's not 2019. It is expected at the end of 2020. No confirmations, but that's also the expected release date of the next-gen touted console from Microsoft, codenamed Scarlet. 2020 is when Microsoft is looking to push the next-gen console with multiple options available for all income types. You know, the pro gamer with the high-end, the mid-range, like what we have now with the Xbox One, the S, and the X.
I still haven't gotten the X.
Me neither. But Scarlet is the code release for 2020, and because they pushed back the development for Halo Infinite. And Gears is coming out this fall. It's expected Halo Infinite will come out 2020 with the new console. And nowhere in the history of Xbox has a Halo game come out with any other console except Halo 1. Halo 1 was a console selling game. That's why it got so huge back in 2001. So 19 years later, Halo Infinite could potentially be the second console selling game to ever come out in the Microsoft spectrum. So there's some exciting, thoughts about how will Microsoft look when that hits. Yeah. But the reason back to the whole point of couch co-op, they're bringing it back. That's such a long point to make. But you told me Gears is coming back with couch co-op. Awesome. Guess what? Halo is correcting their mistake of getting rid of it and coming back with couch co-op with their 6th chapter in the second trilogy of Master Chief. It is regardless of what people saw in the tech demo. That was just a tech demo. There was no plot points behind showing an odd Halo 1 style outfit for Master Chief. There's lots of fan theories, but that was just a tech demo. They came out and said it's a tech demo. This doesn't tell you anything about the plot. But they have confirmed it's going to continue. It takes place sometime after Halo 5. So yeah, we're getting rid of Locke or Loki or whoever that second character was that everyone did not care for. And this game is going to be completely focused on Master Chief, and it is the 3rd chapter in the second trilogy of the Halo franchise.
Nice.
Even though they're not calling it Halo 6, it's called Halo Infinite. It is essentially Halo 6. And they are bringing back couch co-op. So many things to look forward to in 2020. That's a side tangent to our most anticipated 2019 films.
Well, back to 2019.
Back to 2019.
Gears 5.
Oh, go ahead.
They're also bringing something very near and dear to me, which I didn't include in the synopsis before, but because I stay up to date with Razer. Um, Gears of War
Oh,
5 console will have support for keyboard and mouse
yes.
on the console, which is going to be badass.
Yes, Razer and Microsoft are working together to create like Microsoft currently, for those not in the know, with supports keyboard and mouse now, but Razer is building a custom keyboard and mouse specifically for the console,
Razer Chroma.
and yeah, and a lot of games now we know Gears 5 going forward. A lot of games are going to start including actual support for keyboard and mouse. And on a quick side note, we're like talking about crossplay, dude. I just wanted to throw this out there. Might leave it in. I got to experience crossplay during Christmas break for the first time ever. I played Sea of Thieves,
Mm-hmm.
and I've never like done matchmaking with a current gen game up to this point with someone I didn't know. Like I usually hook up with our buddies over Xbox. Sea of Thieves. I jumped into a game, and one of the guys on my crew told me to hit the E key for something, and I was like, "Are you on PC, bro?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I just had to tell him while we were playing together on that same ship. I'm like, "Bro, I'm on an Xbox, and I'm sorry, I'm just giddy because I have never played in the same game through matchmaking with someone on a completely different platform. And here I am playing Sea of Thieves on the Xbox with someone on a PC." I was like, this is so cool because he is completely on a PC and he's telling me to do stuff that require a keyboard stroke. And I'm like, okay, what's that on the controller? But anyway, that was my first experience in crossplay, and it was enjoyable. It was fun, and it felt freeing being able to play with anyone on any platform.
And yeah.
Going back to anyway, so let's.
While talking about,
Are you ready to move on to your list?
yeah, but I was just going to throw a quick tangent real quick there. On
Sure.
Xbox One, there is a small list of games that are actually available for keyboard and mouse use.
Oh, do they list it
Yeah.
on the console or online?
Online here,
Okay.
Razer. We got Gears of War 5, Fortnite, Warframe, Minecraft, which is brilliant for them to port that over for the
Nice.
yeah, X-Morph Defense, Vermintide 2, Bomber Crew, Children of Morta, DayZ, Deep Rock Galactic, Minion Masters, Moonlighter, Roblox, Strange Brigade, Surviving Mars, Vigor, Warface, Wargroove, and War Thunder.
Dang.
These are
And
all
a lot of the
games that were actually on PC and Xbox, so it makes sense that they have them so that they have the keyboard support.
right, and those games make sense for keyboard and mouse anyway. But it's cool now that no matter which one you have, you can play it literally however you want, wherever you want.
Hells to the
I lo-
yeah.
Oh my God, Microsoft, you're just being crazy with your openness
Yeah.
and ability to play. Anyway,
All right, so
Nick,
I have a list.
let's dump into your list.
Do you mind? I'll come back to the honorable mention.
Yeah, go through your specific ones that are on your top, absolute top. Yeah.
Top three. I'm gonna start because I am a PC gamer through and through. I've been playing PC forever, and one of my favorite things is RTS. You don't see very many of the newer ones, but one of the franchises that got me so in love with RTS genre was the Warcraft. Before
Yes.
they ever introduced that nonsense that is World of Warcraft. And this year, they are doing a remastered version of one of my favorite RTSs ever, Warcraft 3. It is going to be titled Warcraft 3 Reforged. It's complete rework from the ground up, updated graphics, added storyline. They changed some stuff to try to. They're doing this for a reason, actually. Part of it is to retcon the lore from Warcraft for World of Warcraft. So there's going to be some stuff that's retconned across. So they're going to remaster all the maps, all the original campaigns. The UI is going to be completely updated. The world editor is going to be completely updated, so you can go in and make your own maps and stuff, which was always real fun. It's all going to be in 4K
Nice.
resolution. You actually, if you go on their webpage, you can actually see the upgrades for the character tunes that they did for each of the characters, and it looks beautiful. It looks stunning. It's going to bring back that nostalgia of the original game. Uh, and I've
Nice.
been going back and playing a lot of these older games, mostly because Steam has gone back and actually released a lot of these, like Age of Empires 2. I've been playing, and then when I
Yeah.
heard this, it was just like instant. You're gonna have to believe this, but yeah, it's it's it was an awesome game. So,
Yeah.
and I'm
Nice.
glad they're remaking it. I actually, if you watch the cinematic
Nice.
trailer, it's actually even really cool. So I think we're gonna have a lot more of the up to date graphics with cinematics, which are gonna be awesome. Um, and yeah, it's something to look forward to. I don't have much.
Dude, I like
Oh,
RTS personally, and it's been a minute since I've like heavily gotten into them. Um, hold up. Sorry.
like Halo Wars was
What what platforms is this hitting?
um
Just PC?
I know it's going to be PC for sure. Uh,
I figured because I realized I didn't mention this, but all my picks were Xbox specific. Um, and I think all of them have a PC version too. So I covered PC and Xbox. I wasn't sure if yours was PC only. Being StarCraft, or it probably
Warcraft.
is just PC.
Yeah.
Warcraft, sorry.
Well, I
Yeah.
remember back in the days when like they released StarCraft and Diablo, it went not only on PC, it was on Nintendo 64. Uh,
What?
did you not know that?
Well, I know Diablo 3 was on both. You know what I mean? As far as like, I didn't know anything. No,
Yeah, they
I
also
didn't know what
released
you're
it
talking
on
about.
64. I actually have a
Oh,
cart version of it over there in my cupboard.
oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. But it looks like it's only going to be PC exclusive for now.
Ah, well, I mean, with the keyboard and mouse on the Xbox, I could see a potential of them offering one at some point. Maybe,
Yeah,
maybe.
maybe. And I would not be offended if they did. Well, because they've shown that you could still play RTSs on consoles, like the Halo War games.
Oh yeah, the Halo's got a several in the franchise for that. Yeah, there is like they've really worked out a way of making RTSs play smoothly, but I think there are certain scales of RTSs that probably don't work well on it, and like StarCraft and Warcraft are probably on the harder end for like making them work smoothly on
Yeah.
console. I mean, I don't know much about the development side of things, but I'd imagine that it'd be a little more challenging, especially depending on the amount of units you want to control and
Yeah.
stuff. I don't know.
My next game. We'll move on to the next one because I don't have much more information on
Yes.
that. But I would recommend going online, checking that out. It looks really good.
Do we have a release for that
Release
date
date on that?
time
Let me
or
look. I should have gotten that ahead of
that
time.
is the one note you didn't
I know.
include. Shameful.
Or,
Just kidding. Just kidding.
but luckily we have yeah,
Google?
right in front of us.
I know, in the form of phones and everything too. It's incredible.
I'm trying to see a date. Uh, I'm not seeing an exact date, but it will be this year, 2019.
Ah,
And the last time it was released was in 2002 on PC.
damn! It's been a minute.
Yeah. So yeah. But it
Uh,
doesn't have an exact date on it. That's why I didn't put it in the notes. I remember now.
oh, fair enough then. Next time we'll have to put a TBA in our notes in case, like, to remind us that it's unknown.
Yeah, and my next game on my list, I
I'm familiar with
yeah,
it.
I played
I've
Sea of
seen stuff on
Thieves,
this.
and I like the whole genre and the whole idea behind it. Um, and I saw the preview to this, and I didn't catch the name in the beginning. I just saw the preview, saw the ships and everything going on there, the cinematics, and I'm like, what the hell is this? And then
Whoa.
I went and looked into it deeper. Skull and Bone. It is like Sea of Thieves and Assassin's Creed got together and had an awesome, beautiful pirate baby.
Ooh, I like your reference.
Uh, uh, but yeah, it looks ridiculous. You can
Yes, it
customize your
does.
ships completely. Um, you see in the previews and some gameplay that you have like full on naval battles. You can board the other people's ships, full on melee combat, have stuff like that. You play solo or work with other players. You actually see in one of the videos where you're a pirate ship and you're sailing around and a British or whatever destroyer's coming at you because it saw you steal stuff from a merchant ship. So they have this big destroyer ship coming towards you and trying to destroy, and you're like, "Oh crap, this is going to kill me." So you scroll up and you see your person up in the crow's nest, and you look back and you find other players in other ships off in the distance, and you mark them and they join you in the fight. You could randomly get people to join you in this fight to take down this big gigantic ship.
Dang, dude.
Yeah,
I'm
but then
watching. I'm watching the trailer footage right now, and I'm watching the cinematic for it. It's just the Skull and Bones E3 2018 cinematic trailer,
yeah, it
and
looks ridiculous.
it looks like it's gonna be cool.
Yeah, and it has some intrigue where it looks like there's something happening and they're trying to wipe out the pirates.
Ooh,
You're trying to fight against that, or the pirates are coming back. And that was another one that I didn't put a release date because there is still no release date for this year, but it will
oh
be released this
snap!
year, and it will be released on PC, uh, PS4, and Xbox One.
All across the board, nice. Yeah, so Skull and Bones, dude, seems pretty cool.
It does, it does. It looks very interesting, and I think it will be great. Okay, all right. Yeah. I'm kind of excited about my next pick on here. It's my last of my top anticipated games of 2019. It's one that I grew up with. I played the original, and I played every iteration since then.
Oh
Um,
snap!
and it's iconic. Uh, they've made a movie off of it. It wasn't the best movie. I still enjoyed it just for the fact that it was a Doom movie. Um,
Dwayne Johnson's first, or well, not first,
yeah, no,
earliest role.
and that movie was awful, but it was worth watching just for that 2 minute segment where it's all first person like Doom guy.
That was incredible. The whole thing should have been that.
Yeah, it would have been epic. Um, but what I'm getting at is they got the new one coming out, Doom Eternal. They've gone through and overhauled the whole thing, and they went out of their way to make this feel like a full-on action first-person shooter from start to finish. And not only that, they've made the Doom Slayer more badass than ever. And as an action FPS, it's definitely different than what you're used to seeing in first-person shooters.
Yes, yes, it is.
You there?
Yeah, sorry, just pulling the whole frozen face on you.
I didn't want to step on your whole spiel about monsters stuck in room with you.
God dang it. No. Dude, yeah, I am excited about this too. And the thing that always separated Doom and its franchise from most other shooters is its interesting take on the difference between you being stuck in a room full of monsters, whereas Doom likes to think of the monsters being stuck in a room with you.
Yeah. No, and they play on that very well in this. Just in watching the trailer at the QuakeCon
Hmm.
release, it's like a 30 minute, I think 20,
I
28
caught
minutes.
I caught that before the recording. I watched it, dude. They showed a lot of stuff in that. Yeah.
Yeah. No, and you listen to the AI on the background, it adds a sense of humor you weren't expecting from it. There's a scene where he's on Phobos and he walks through the control panel, the control tower, and all
Mhm.
the people are just like getting out of the way. It's just like, yeah, it's ridiculous. And part where like drags a guy across the thing just to use his badge to open the door.
Yeah, that was so like an overpowering presence type of imagery going on with it.
He had to change his trousers, I guarantee it. And then he
Yeah.
walks in the next hallway, and there's these two guards there. And then the one guard's like, "Hey, you can't be in here." Like kind of cowering back. He looks him
Yeah.
up and down, like gets up right in his face. The guy's leaning back, like, "Oh crap, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die." He just reaches down, grabs his gun, and walks in the elevator. Starts taking
Like, I'm
off.
gonna take this from you.
Yeah. And then he
Yeah.
starts heading down the elevator. And the part that cracked me up is you hear in the background the AI is like, "Attention, warning, the Slayer is in the facility." Like, you have to warn the bad guys that the Slayer's in the facility, or was that for the people that work there?
Right. Look, watch yourself. He may take out an eye.
Yeah. No. But other than that, they, like I said, they've overhauled the whole character. The Doom guy, they just made him more badass than he.
Yeah. Yeah, tell me about some of his new physical attributes.
Yeah, his new armor and the way he looks, he's rivaling the beefiness of Gears Warriors.
I noticed that in the like especially with the concept art that they showcased right before jumping in.
Yeah, he's just big, built like a brick shit house. But no, he's got some new tools, new weapons and stuff. Like the tools, he's got a built-in arm blade that's like on his arm, like Predator style there, and it shows it off right in
Yes.
the beginning of the footage. It goes, and then the blade just goes, and it's like, yeah, okay, yeah, I can get behind that.
Pretty
Uh,
epic, dude.
and then he's got you see him jumping around and using something very reminiscent of Link's hook shot.
Yes.
Got a ridiculous grapple hook. But and the way he uses it, you can use it as a way to get around, a way to bring your enemies closer to you, or bring you closer to your enemies. It's so versatile and visceral. It's a it's probably one of the most brutal and broken things that's gonna be in the game.
It's like on the level of Mortal Kombat visceral.
Yeah, like Scorpion. Yeah, just like get over here.
Get over here.
Yeah. Uh,
If I was Sean Connery,
yeah.
get over here.
And then they also included he's got a shoulder mounted turret type thing, like almost like Predator. Again, he's got the blade and the shoulder mount, but it
Yes,
like does flamethrower stuff, and you can shoot grenades with it.
yes. I'm seeing it here in the notes. Yes.
It looks ridiculous. They went in through some of his weapons, like he's got the ballista. The ballista is probably one I'm really interested in. It looks like they took a rail gun and mixed it with a crossbow.
It's sexy.
Yeah, it just shoots these gigantic bolts and just decimates whatever it hits.
It's disgustingly sexy.
Yeah, and we got some new enemies, some old enemies that have been updated, and like some new ones. We got the arch enemy. The arch enemy. It's the best way to describe this. They're like on this platform that like floating around, like no legs, and there's just big skeletal demons on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
Looks
Oh yes.
And the Marauders. If you pay close attention to the Marauders, they almost look like they're wearing Doom armor. So I wonder if they're like
Dead soldiers.
dead Doom soldiers.
That sounds very likely.
That'd be kind of badass. Like you're having to face like demonized versions of you. But then,
wonderful.
of course,
Good
they
selling
brought
point.
back some favorites. The Arachnotrons. If you remember these, they're big robotic demons that just look like big brains with like spider legs
Mm-hmm.
and blasters and shit.
Dude, the thing I like about all these monsters is before showcasing some of them, they showed the various different stages of damage that these characters can take.
Yeah,
Like you can actually like blow bits at a time rather than just a few shots with blood flying, and then decimation. There's actual like
as you hit them, they
intermittent
look like they take damage.
intermittent levels of damage shown on the enemy characters themselves as they're being pulverized.
Yeah, it's beautiful and it's visceral, and it's awesome. It reminds me of the games from before. I was a big fan of like the Quake games, the Doom games, and they all kind of fit that same genre and feel. Um, but yeah, it's they went above and beyond on this one.
How about some of tell me about remember the some of the different scenes where he's grabbing an enemy and doing something to them directly like in
Oh yeah,
melee.
they have some like kill cutaways. Like you'll see a lot of them like in the style like God of War or uh, Assassin's Creed, where you actually like land a critical and you do like a special kill. There's crazy ones. Like there's this one he jumps up and does this hook shot up to one of the pain elementals,
Uh-huh.
reaches inside the pain elemental's mouth and opens the blade, where you see the blade come up through the top of the mouth and stick the eye out the top of it. You're like, oh.
Oh man,
Another
yeah.
one was I never seen something like this. It was the first time for me. Where the Doomslayer goes up to one of like the grunt style like zombie people that have started changing, and just like full on hammer fist them on top of the head, and you see the head like pushed down into the desiccated chest cavity, and it just turtles it.
Yeah, dude, that was like up front and that was like real gritty and personal, man.
Ah, and of course they brought in stuff like the chainsaw. They had to bring that back. That's a staple. Where you're like just mowing them in half, and with the arm blade, he's just slicing things in half, slicing arms off.
I love seeing the like. This makes it sound horrible, but like taking that knife blade into like the chest and then pulling up and basically like splitting, like cutting straight down the middle of the face and chest of the demon, like splitting him in half.
No, they went into a very big, very deep into the carnage the Doomslayer can actually wrought on his enemies.
Yeah.
There's a few other things that they've added into this that us as Doom fans have been asking for forever. More use of the environment around you. He can actually climb walls, vault off poles that are sticking out of the wall, which he's never been able to do before.
Huh.
They kept him very linear. Like you could walk, you could jump, and that's about it.
Right.
But not only that, he's got some dashes and like dodge stuff that he never had before, which just kind of cements the whole idea of him being a badass. He's ready for it. He's expecting them to charge him, and he's like, not today.
Right.
But just watching that gameplay trailer release from QuakeCon, I can honestly say this is probably one of the most anticipated games that I've seen, for me personally, in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
I could honestly say when this releases, you guys probably won't see me for a while.
Good to know.
Yeah.
I will plan our episodes accordingly.
Yeah. They also included some other cool functions in here that I'm actually excited about. And it's something that I never thought they would do with with the Doom series. There's a new mode that they're including called Invasion.
Oh.
Basically, there's all these single-player campaign modes that people are playing through. In Invasion, you can decide to play as one of the demons and invade into another player single-player campaign mode.
Oh,
and
I
hunt
heard about this.
down the Doom Slayer. And this is something you haven't been able to do before. The cool thing is you can either do it by yourself or form a group of players and go on like a Doom Slayer hunting squad.
Literally, yeah.
Yeah. No, they included a lot of cool things into this, and a lot of things that make us as fans of the Doom series very excited, very hopeful. And they stayed to the feel and the true heart of what Doom is. And I'm completely stoked and excited about it. They also they have a new game engine for this, the EbTech 7 engine. It's crazy ridiculous. This will have 10 times the geometric detail than any of the games they've released so far, while still maintaining that 60 FPS.
Damn.
Yeah. So.
Nice. Yeah, dude, there's a lot to be excited for with this title.
And you watched it. Is there anything you want to throw in on there?
Nah, dude, like just I like yeah, on the demo, like you could see the like crisp like 4K, like 1080 4K, the HD and like the 60 frames. Just the movement was so fast and PC common, like as far as like what we expect in our computer gaming.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. This is on my list that I definitely want to hear more about when it comes out. And I love seeing the different stages of damage, like especially those I don't know all the demon creature types, but the floating brain with a single eye,
Pain Elemental.
the pain elementals. Like I forget what scene it was, but one of the scenes where he's taking one out, he like basically punctures the eye or into the socket or something.
Yeah,
of
he
that
reaches
thing.
into his mouth. That thing I was telling you about. Open the blade.
Yeah. Oh man, just some of the quick time actions that happen, like the cutaway gore scenes that happen when he yanks a character to him. All of that is just like, I'm just curious about what the rest of this game is going to look like, you know?
Well, and the Doom
Is where
guy
I'm
was
at.
always kind of slow, but this grapple hook just gives him this terrifying speed, and you feel sorry for the demons.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Hey, if you want to, let's make it short and sweet. You had any other honorable mentions on this list?
Actually, I do. My last honorable mention. I'm a big retro player, and I've said this multiple times. And there's actually a game that's near and dear to my heart that's coming out this year that I'm really excited for. It's a remake of a PS1 franchise that was big back in the day. And I'd said earlier, Activision does things right, some things right. And this is one of the things they're doing right. They're going back and finding the games that people love and bringing them back for good reasons.
Yeah.
And one of the ones that they're bringing back is CTR, Crash Team Racing, where we get our very lovable Crash Bandicoot
Ooh.
in like a Mario Kart style racing game. This is actually developed by the Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions developers, Beanox Interactive. And they went back and they tried to stay very, very true to the original core product. And they're bringing it back, and it's going to be on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and the PC. I don't know if it's going to be on the Switch. I think it might be later, but it has been touted for. Oh, yeah, right here. Crash Team Racing Refueled will be released on June 21st, 2019 for PS4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. And that's been confirmed by Activision.
Nice. Across the board.
Yeah. They have rebuilt it from the ground up. New visuals, new audio. All characters, tracks, and arenas will return. The adventure will return. Arcade single and cup races, time trials, and battle modes all returning. But they will also include in the new version all online multiplayer versions of every single mode.
Dang.
Yeah.
This is a package deal.
Yeah. It's kind of cool that they're adding that much into it. I actually had a quick excerpt from the developers making it, and they're like, we boot up our PS1, and we started playing Crash Team Racing again, getting a sense of what that experience was and what the game we fell in love with to begin with was. Beanox Thomas Wilson's told this was actually one to IGN that they put that to, but they were trying to cite just how authentic they're trying to keep it to the original source. So
yeah.
They said they're taking the controls, tweaking them to make it feel right for what the new systems have. but trying to maintain the same controls that people are so used to and love.
That makes sense.
And watching it, it still has that childish cartoon feel that Bandicoot's supposed to have, but still able to bring that stunning resolution that we're expecting.
Awesome.
So I'm excited for it. It's actually one of the few games my wife will ever play because she loves the Crash Team Racing series. So, and that's one of the reasons why I'm excited for it, because it's something I can play with my family.
There you go.
Whereas Doom, I can't do so much.
Not too much. Well, dude, awesome. I think that, right, guys, that's gonna kind of cover our picks for 2019 most anticipated games.
Did we have a list for Lynn or
Lynn didn't upload one this time, and we'll get his thoughts next week. A quick shout out on Matt's list, and I'll just kind of couple nods in agreement from my end. Right now he's got Resident Evil 2. That's the remake, the complete overhaul of the classic. And Matt, that's at the top of his list to the point where he's already pre-ordered it. So guys, we are gonna get some thorough coverage on it in a couple weeks. It releases January 24th. Officially the 25th. Becomes available on the to download on the evening of the 24th. That's a Thursday night. So I will definitely be uploading some initial first impressions and coverage on Resident Evil 2, guys. Matt's second mention is Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice. This one looks like a lot of fun. I'm glad it's on his list. It's not something I'm looking into too much, but it's slated for March 22nd. It's an upcoming action-adventure video game developed by From Software and published by, Activision. We're familiar with you. It's scheduled to come across all platforms, and the game follows. So here's a quick synopsis. The game follows a shinobi named Sekiro as he attempts to take revenge on a samurai who attacked him and kidnapped his lord. So a lot of hacky slashy. If you guys are familiar with like the Onimusha series or Ninja Gaiden, this is definitely going to be in that vein. So I will definitely give it a try. But that's Matthew's second pick, and his third pick, I'm not familiar. Is this a game? Control? I'm not familiar with that.
Which one?
His third one says Control. I'm actually not familiar with that.
Control.
Control video game. Okay. Found it. Control video game slated for 2019. No official game. Control is an upcoming action-adventure third-person shooter. Oh, these are from the Remedy Entertainment. They're from the guys that made that action-adventure time-altering game that I play, Quantum Break. They're known for making Quantum Break. Hold on, let me look up their pedigree real quick. I actually heard about Control. I haven't seen any gameplay about it.
Yeah, while you're looking that up though, the Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice. Just a little bit more info on that. That is from the people who brought you what's those game? Dark Souls? From Software?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes, From Software is known for the Dark Souls. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, Matt's final mention is Control, created by Remedy Games. Remedy Games is a Finnish video game developer based in Espoo, and they're known for developing titles such as the Max Payne franchise, Alan Wake, Quantum Break. So a lot of like heavy story-driven third-person action games is what their pedigree is. I've loved every game they've put out. Alan Wake, Quantum Break, Max Payne, all of them have been great. So this new game, Control, give you guys a quick rundown. It's like the other games. It's an action adventure third person shooter. Set to come out 2019. Takes place primarily within. Control takes place primarily within the oldest house, a featureless, brutalist skyscraper in Manhattan that acts as the headquarters of the Federal Bureau of Control, a secretive government organization that deals with unexplained or supernatural phenomenon.
What?
Say what? The FBC's goal is to study, contain, and if possible seize control of supernatural elements and manipulate them for their own purposes. Oh snap! So there's some interesting story background for that. I will have to check the trailer out or whatever footage there is of this because it's supposed to come out sometime this year. So that was Matt's mention. His quick pick honorables, which kind of fit into some of ours. Gears 5, as I mentioned. Matt's definitely enjoys a vein of games such as Devil May Cry 5, Division 2 I mentioned earlier. Kingdom Hearts 3, although I didn't mention it, is one of my wife's most anticipated games for the last 10 years. And is coming to Xbox finally for the first time ever. Kingdom Hearts 3 actually comes out on January 28th. And she is full-blown going to purchase it that week. So I will be also posting a couple videos on our initial coverage for Kingdom Hearts 3 as well.
And unfortunately for Joe, he won't be able to play his Xbox for about a year because she's going to have it.
For 30 to 40 hours because when she plays a game, she binges through a game. So we'll see. But that being said, and then Rage 2. I haven't looked much into it to talk about it right now, but I see a lot of promising things coming from it. Rage 1 was not a commercial success. A lot of people didn't pay too much attention to it either at the time. But from what I've heard and seen on Rage 2, it looks like they're going in a very different direction, and there's some big promise of it, and it's I think it's a Bethesda published title as well. So
it is a post-apocalyptic open world first-person shooter by Avalanche Studios.
Oh, I said
with oversight
published.
From id Software, which is part of Bethesda.
Yeah. Okay, I was half right on that. But anyway, guys, I think this is a good wrap up spot. That's all our mentions and honorable mentions for most anticipated games of 2019. Thank you for joining and listening, guys. Leave some comments down below if you're on YouTube, or hit us up over Twitter or Facebook and let us know. What are your most anticipated games this year? What are you most excited about? Did any of the ones we mentioned today pique your interest? Or do you have some really eclectic tastes and you've got some game selections we haven't even heard of? Let us know.
I agree. I actually have some game selections on there I didn't list that were actually looking really good.
Let's add to that conversation as the weeks progress this year. And again, we'll be keeping up on keeping up on all gaming coverage this year with newer releases as they unfold. Guys, that's gonna do it for today. If out of all the places you could hit us up, join our Discord. We have a lot of fun conversations on there. It's an open chat platform. And as the train goes by, please go to nerdentialsmedia.com, guys, to check out everything else we have to offer. Join the nerd crew here over at Nerdentials if you haven't yet. For me and Nick, this has been your Nerdy Essentials, and as always, nerds, we'll see you on the other side. That was about as sync as I could possibly make it, Nick, and I think it was pretty solid.
And sorry about that train.
Oh, dude, I thought it was funny.